everyone. I'm so happy that you're here. And today we have wonderful Q&A that has to do about the Silva Master Mentoring Program that begins on November 3rd. So we do have a section where you can ask questions, and I encourage you to ask questions. Oh, let me lower this. I do encourage you to be asking questions about the program itself more than anything else. I mean, should something else come up, by all means, I'm here to help you in any way that I can. But our goal here is to satisfy whatever maybe doubts or curiosities you may have about the Silva Master Mentoring Program. First of all, this program is going to start November the 3rd. So it's kind of right around the corner. We're more than halfway through our goal of the people that we are going to be taking in for the program. I mean, we want to limit it to about maybe 15 people. That's usually our goal. And of course, we usually always go over that. But the point is that I'm making is that it's a small, intimate group. It's a group that allows me to really address your personal needs and your goals and what you want to accomplish with this program by the end of the program. So if you have any considerations about signing up, I say don't take too long to sign up, because we do close the enrollment at about maybe 15 or so, and we're already more than halfway there. So that being said, the program is going to be lasting 3 months, or 12 weeks. It starts November 3rd and goes right into the new year. So what I like about this is that we're able to establish the goals that we want to achieve from the very beginning. And I want you to start thinking about that right now. What do you want to accomplish by the end of the program, 3 months after it starts? Because it's really important to me that we satisfy your needs. We provide you with the information and the tools and the content, whether it's links, meditations, lessons, or manuals, whatever written information we may have, that you can utilize towards achieving that goal. The whole thing is that you achieve that goal or better than that, and that you really take charge of your living experience and create the experience that you want to have as you go, and understand how that is done throughout the program. So start thinking out, what do I want to achieve by the end of this program? What goals do I want to manifest? What challenges do I want to solve? What health issues do I want to make better? What more beautiful things do I want to bring into my living experience? How do I go about that doing is what you're going to learn during this time that we're going to be spending together. So it's really important that you begin to just assess your life. How is my life flowing today? How is my life in this very moment in different areas, such as health, abundance, love, happiness? I mean, whatever it might be. So however it is that you're looking at your life right now and you evaluate or assess it, how much better do you want it to be? Whether it's going to be financially or in love relationships or with your family relationships. Obviously, your health situation. So all these things are really important aspects that all of us want to achieve in our life. And it's really important for me to give you that information, because I remember personally that I was in a situation where I needed some help. We're talking about many, 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 many years ago, obviously, because I have achieved the success that I want to achieve, and the love and the happiness and the health and all those great things. But it didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen without my full participation in my life and living experience. I had learned the Silva Method since I was a little girl. I grew up while my father was doing research with the Silva Method before he even called it the Silva Method. These were lessons that I learned from a very, very, very young age. But lessons learned mean nothing until you apply them, until you take them in, you digest them, you make them your own. And information is great, but information that you don't utilize, that you don't apply, that you don't put into practice means nothing. So even though I grew up with a lot of information since the time I was very, very young, I wasn't practicing that information. And in my early years and in my teenage years and going into my young adulthood, I had challenges. I had challenges all across the board. whether it's financial or health or love relationships or a myriad of things, but only because I wasn't practicing what I was teaching or what I was learning, especially later on. What I was teaching, yes, I was practicing it, but I wasn't practicing what I had learned during the time I took the Silva Method programs. And it wasn't until a time that I was in a really tough situation. I was very depressed. I was not well. I was hanging out with the wrong people, and I kept attracting the wrong kind of love relationships, and I felt like a failure. And it wasn't until I kind of felt like I hit rock bottom that I was reaching out with need. And need is a very powerful tool because when you need something and you need it badly to turn your life around, you tend to look for it and you tend to respect those lessons that you learn. And when I reached out to some of my loved ones with need that I needed to do something about my life, change the way I was thinking, the way I was behaving, the things I believed in, and they guided me through. And I started to refresh myself with the Silva Method, which is a really important tool. Refreshing yourself, even after you've gone through it years and years ago, like I had, will allow you to hear things from a different perspective. When I had that need to change and a strong desire to turn my life around, and I returned to the Silva Method, I heard information that I had heard before, but didn't mean anything to me at the time, or I wasn't ready to understand, or I wasn't ready to ingest and own and utilize, whatever the reasons were. When I went back and took the Silva Method as a young adult, it changed my life completely. It turned it around so completely that I knew that what I was meant to do is to share this information with others. Because if I could turn my life around so drastically from being rock bottom to being on top of the world to having a wonderful life and health and a wonderful partner, husband, children, finances, everything. I knew if I could do it in the poor state that I was in at the time, then so could everybody else. And I devoted my time in just being able to break apart all the different lessons of the Silva Method in Silva Intuition Training and created the program called Silva Manifesting because I put into that program everything I had learned in my life through daily practice that truly turned my life around. I discovered was what was really most important and what I had learned in the Silva Method and how to get to it directly to really utilize it. I learned how to do proper programming, how to structure my wording and the programs in a certain way that they made doors open and allowed great things to manifest. These are the kinds of lessons I want to share with you. I also learned that the best way to take the Silva Method is slowly. I love the audio programs. I created the audio programs. I created them and I recorded them, and many of you have learned and studied and benefited from the audio programs. I've taught the Silva Method itself in live seminars for 55, 56 years. And yet, the best way to learn is slowly. I always learned from my father that that it's important to learn the information, put it to practice, let it sink inside, and then where you can literally see changes take place right before your very eyes to encourage you to continue to practice a little bit more. And so when my father first started teaching the Silva Method back in the 1960s, he would do 4 hours. He would go to a location and teach 4 hours, which is basically the very first part of the course to start with. And that's called control relaxation. And he taught those first 4 hours so that people could get the understanding of how to eliminate the stress, how to manage it, understand it, and manage it effectively, how to work with those kinds of health issues that we all get, like headaches, insomnia, pains and aches throughout the body, how to utilize the tools that we teach in the Silva Method, like sleep control, stress management, dream control, weight control, pain management, to be able to make our lives more comfortable and healthy from the very beginning, eliminating stress completely, understanding why we get it, and then managing it for the rest of your life. And he said, I wanted to teach them how to do that in 4 hours and leave them with that practice for a month even before he would return to that same location to teach them the next 4 hours. So he continued to do this type of an approach of teaching people slowly so that they really would get the information deeply, have an opportunity to practice it, to make positive changes happen in their lives, and then own that information and make it a lifestyle. And that's what I love so much about this 12-week-long program, the Silva Master Mentoring Program. And that is that you're able to learn how to make it a lifestyle. That's the important part. The techniques are going to be there of the Silva Life System, all of them, all the techniques. All the techniques of Silva Intuition are going to be there. All the techniques of Silva Manifesting course are all going to be there. But how you're going to learn them is going to be slowly, by day, practices. You'll be given a task to be able to fulfill throughout the day, every day. You're going to have 2 different platforms through which you can reach me directly. And I can answer your every question and every doubt. And I can help guide you in your practice. Every single day, we'll be in contact. Once a week, we're going to have a Zoom call, a live Zoom call, where we can all meet as a team, as a group, who are all taking the course along with you. And we're able to ask questions and make sure that you're very clear about the week's practice before we introduce you to the new information that you're going to practice the following week. And every time we keep mentoring you, I keep mentoring you along the way, step by step, day by day, with meditations, communications, written material, assignments, small tasks, all these different things that help you in 3 months' time, 120 days, to create a lifestyle that you are going to have for the rest of your life. A lifestyle of positive thinking, resourceful beliefs, behaviors that get you to your outcome and support your goals. You'll be able to manifest those goals and better than that. Start improving your health, attract the right relationships, bring more joy into your life and abundance. All this we cover. And we customize the program according to the needs of the group. Now, that's why we only have 15 people coming in, because I want to make sure that each one of you gets the attention that you need. The time that is required to go through the program is very minimal, but it needs to be consistent and practice daily, and you need to persist with this action, because that's what's going to give you the results. The more you put into the program, the more you're going to get out of the program. This is your responsibility, not mine. My responsibility is to be here for you every step of the way and to guide you with the information, tools, practice, everything, meditations, everything that you need in order to succeed in reaching the goals that you're going to set for yourself in the very beginning. I want you to have a clear direction. This is what I want to achieve by the end of the course. This is what I am going to achieve by the end of the course, or better than that. I owe that to you. But you owe to yourself the practice, the persistence, and the dedication to the practice to get you to your outcome. This is your life we're talking about, not mine. This is your life. And only you can really create the life of your design. You're the only one. But I'll be there to help you along the way. because I truly want you to succeed. Now, we welcome people who have taken this course before. In fact, we already have a few of you signed up. I'm happy to see you again and, renew our friendships and our relationships along the way. And there's some of you, a couple of you who I'm asking, please come back and take the course. Because every time you refresh yourself, you're going to learn something new and different. Every time, even though you may have heard it in the previous seminar, it didn't sink in because you weren't ready for it. But every time you come back and refresh yourself, and we make it very easy and affordable for you to do so, every time you do this, you're going to learn something that you didn't remember hearing the last time. And it's going to change your life. Some of you didn't finish the course for whatever reason. Come back, finish it. And that's only like one or two of you. But I really want you to succeed. So get in touch with Irina on info@laurasilvaquesada.com, and she'll help you to sign up again, and she'll help you to make it easy for you to do so. But what's most important is that you trust in your ability to reach those outcomes, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay? I'll be there for you every step of the way. Taking this 3-month online program is going to be different than taking a regular Silva seminar. In a regular Silva seminar, you do it in a weekend. You maybe do 8 hours a day, 16 hours. If you do the Silva system and the Silva intuition together, double that, 36 hours. That's what you're going to have. And then you're on your own. You're on your own to practice and say, oh, am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? Am I going deep enough? Am I not going deep enough? Am I going to achieve my outcome or not? Where do I start? What technique do I utilize first? And there's a little confusion, and there may be doubt, and doubt is never good. It doesn't help at all in reaching your outcomes. And a lot of times, because of that, people who come into a live seminar, they don't practice because they say, well, what did he say? Or what did she say? How am I supposed to do this? And you might have your manuals and your books, but do you ever go back to them again? Maybe yes, maybe not. And yet I know you get great outcomes and great results. But in the online training that lasts 12 weeks, 120 days, you're going to get the everyday kind of a little push to continue working with your practice, with your goals, to continue working with the practice, applying the tools, the techniques, the information every single day, because it's going to become a lifestyle. And that's the most important thing, that it becomes a lifestyle, and that you're very clear about how to utilize the tools and techniques that you are going to be learning throughout the program. Now, I did say we're going to customize it for you. So even though we're going to go through Silva Life System and Silva Intuition Training and Silva Manifesting, we're also going to cover so much more information than just that. We're going to cover information that are in other programs that I have created, other programs that are part of the Silva Method. We're going to cover topics that are related to Silva, maybe not taught in Silva, but we're going to make sure that we get that information correct and that you learn how to apply Silva tools to those very maybe needs that you have that are very individual or very specific for you. So doing the Silva online training for 12 weeks is a totally different approach than a weekend course or a 4-day program. The time we spend together is endless, basically, during those 3 months period of time, because you can ask me anything at any hour, at any time. And if I don't get to it because I'm sleeping during the night, I'll get to it first thing in the morning. The first thing I do at the start of my morning is check my messages, check for questions, check for the need of information of the participants. The last thing I do at night is check the different platforms to see if you all are doing okay, if you need me for anything, if I can help you. I read all your responses. I read all your answers to the different questionnaires all the time. Throughout the day, I'm checking in on you, and you can ask me questions anytime that you wish. And like I said, once a month, we group in a live Zoom call. So why would you want to even choose? Those of you who have never done the Silva Method before, why would you even want to choose the Silva Method for personal transformation over other programs? The reason is because it is the most comprehensive program that is going to teach you the different forms of meditation, whether it's passive deep meditation and dynamic meditation, which is what my father, Jose Silva, was famous for creating a whole new approach to meditation that was dynamic and emotion and feelings, I mean, just filled. And it was something that you can utilize every day in a short period of time. If all you have in your busy schedule is 15 minutes to practice, you're doing great. If you have more time to put into it, even better. In the Silva Method, we always say 5 minutes of practice with your meditations is good, 10 minutes is very good, but 15 minutes is excellent. So if you have 15 minutes to meditate, to relax, to internalize your focus, to connect with your goals, to get yourself healthier, to give love and then receive more love. If you have 15 minutes to do that type of meditation, you are going to benefit greatly. If you have another 15 minutes anytime during the day to answer your questionnaire, to ponder on your life and on your goals, to want to correct or solve some of the problems you're going through, well, then that's going to be even better. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Always remember, you're responsible for your life, not your doctors, not your spouse, not your family members, not your religious leader. Nobody is responsible for your life but you. And the sooner you realize that you put yourself where you are, then the sooner you're going to realize that you can get yourself to a better place. And with the right thinking, the right tools, the techniques, the beliefs, and the actions and behaviors, you're going to make magic happen. You will turn your life around. And that's a promise. So the Silva Method is one of those courses that teaches you so much of what you need to know to have success in life. And it allows you to use more of your brain and mind in a special manner to be able to achieve the manifestation of your dreams and the life of your design. This type of program can be utilized to enhance anything else you learn in the future. And you'll be doing even better having the Silva Method already as a tool for you, or I should say a method with a toolbox of tools, because you're going to have so many tools, techniques, and approaches to make your life better in every way. So Silva Method is my choice, and I've done neurolinguistic programming. I did avatar training. I've done theta trainings. I've done all kinds of stuff to see what's out there in the world. I've done all kinds of healing approaches and Reiki and all these different programs because I want to see what's out there. And yet, for me, even though I have a lot of great things to say about all these programs, for me, my number one go-to will always be the Silva Method, because within the Silva Method is all the information and practice you need to change your life for the better. And you'll see why once you take the program. And I invite you to join me for this 12-week program, 3 months of training, day by day. Very gentle, very loving, very easy, and yet very consistent, persistent, and very congruent teachings that are going to help you achieve your outcomes. So the payment options are there. You can always ask Irina. We always make it super easy. If you have taken the Silva programs before in live seminars and you probably spend $2,000 to $3,000 on that, trust me, this is a fraction of that cost. If you had to travel to different places and pay for hotel rooms, airfare, transportation, just to get into a seminar, a live seminar, which are great, the best way to learn is live. That's why, although we can't be together, what we're doing basically is live. Every time I answer your questions, it's on the spot. Every time we meet for Zoom calls, it's live. So we are connected. daily and very much alive in a live way, although it's distant learning in that sense. But if you go through other trainings and spend all that money, this is so much easier. It's live in its own way, and it's every day for 120 days to ensure the lifestyle that you're going to start incorporating that's going to make your life better in every way. So yes, so get in touch with Irina. She'll make it sure that she's going to make it easy for you to join. So if you're thinking about it, I think you need to get a hold of her and find out the options that are available to you in order to be able to take the program and make great things happen. So if you can't attend the weekly Zoom calls, because we have them once a week, they last about an hour. Well, they're scheduled for about an hour, but they usually last about an hour and a half, and or until all your questions are satisfied for that week. But if you can't make the Zoom call, you always have recordings of the information, and you always have access to those recordings, and you can always ask me questions based on what you see when you replay your Zoom call. So it's all there for you. We're always there for you. And if you need anything extra, we're going to give it to you as well. We're very generous with content and very generous with our time as well. So again, our main goal is for you to succeed. What kind of results can you expect? And is there a guarantee? There's always been a guarantee in the Silva method for it's for having success and accomplishing the goals that you set out to achieve. So the results you can expect are going to be positive results because we aim for you to succeed. We'll give you the content and all that you need and the support and everything that you could possibly need to find how to make those goals a real reality in your life. I'll give you the how to do that. And it sounds like magic because it is, but it's real magic. And real magic is much easier than fake magic. And it's a lasting situation. Something will be with you the rest of your life. These are lessons that are lifelong lessons that you're going to use forever. And we need for you to remember to use them forever. This approach with the Silva method that I take may be a little different than most other instructors because, quite frankly, I know a lot of more content than most people do, and I've been practicing it for all my life. So I'm in my 70s. I've been practicing this information for over 60 years. I've been teaching it for over 50 years. Every day of my life is a day of Silva. Every single day, I share it with my family, my children, my granddaughters. Every single day is a day to explore, to grow, and evolve. And I'm always seeking more information as to how to make this methodology even more effective for you, clearer and easier to understand and to put into practical use. Because if you can't put it to practical use, what's the good? So that's what's really important for me. So expect great results, and whatever you can imagine as something that you want to create in your life or manifest, always push it to even better than that. This program complements your civil life system audio programs exactly, directly. Remember, I wrote the civil life system course and recorded the audios. Of course, my father did the original writings, but the course, the audio program, that was me who wrote it and recorded it. And maybe there's other versions now out there, but the original version is mine. The Silva Intuition Training, I wrote those programs and recorded them and offered them to you for the first time. I wrote Silva Mind Body Healing, which is woven into everything we're going to cover in the 3-month long program. And I wrote Silva Manifesting. So what I have grown, or how much I have grown since writing those programs, is what's not in the audio program, but what I will share with you in the online training. I've grown so much and I've learned so much more since I then created those programs. I probably put those programs together like, I would say, almost 20 years ago. A lot has happened those times. A lot has happened in 20 years that I have not recorded yet, and I plan to share it with you. And that's what I'm so excited about, that's why I'm so excited about this course coming up, because it gives us a time to get to know each other really well, explore the content, talk about it, dissect it, understand it, and utilize it and turn it into a lifestyle. Now, these are some of the things or questions that I had in my mind that I wanted to answer to you, but some of you are already asking me a whole bunch of questions here as well. So let me go back and look at some of these. It says, one of you is asking, how do I join? Well, you'll find out right after this program that you can reach out to Irina. Irina is at info at Silva Method. I'm sorry, info at laurasilvaquesada.com. And she'll fill you in with any kinds of questions that you have as to how to join, how to pay, are the installment payments or payment plans that you can utilize. Yes, oh yes, yes, yes to all those different questions. And in fact, Irina is seeing these very same questions I am. So she will definitely reach out to you and make it easy for you to join. Oh, thank you so much. One of you are saying on the writings and the questions that I am the best teacher, and I really appreciate that. I think I want to say thank you so much for, and I take that as a compliment as well. And I think the reason really is because I care. I care for your success. I know what it's done for me. I know how the Silva Method changed my life so deeply and so completely that I'm excited for you to do the same thing. And I know you will. And that excites me. It's my passion to be here for you. And it's my obligation to you also to give you the best that I've got. And the knowledge will just flow. I feel like I'm sometimes channeling information, maybe channeling my father and others beyond who with content that I know that you need. My prayer is always allow me to say the right thing at the right time in the right way to reach your heart so deeply so that you may as well make those great positive changes in your life. And that to me is of great, great importance. So thank you very much for this lovely, lovely uh, I guess, compliment, I will say. I really appreciate that. Another one is, hi, please join. Oh, we're letting you know you can join using the link that you find there in the questions. Someone, Usha, is asking, I want to learn, Silva, how to make my relationships better. And you will. It is very important to me that we are able to create relationships that are very supportive and loving and really supportive in many levels and depths. Not only supportive in the physical dimension, but also in the spiritual, subjective dimension, very supportive emotionally as well. And one of the real, I think, important lessons that we are going to learn in practice is to really raise your frequency and better yourself as an individual in spirit, mind, body, emotions, and also utilize your intuition along the way to be able to be more positive in how you think, believe, behave, act, and you incorporate the subjective spiritual energies to not only elevate yourself and upgrade you as an individual, because when you upgrade yourself in all different levels and depths, you're going to radiate a certain frequency of vibration that's going to attract towards you like-minded people and energy. And if the people that you're living with already are negative, are not supportive, and it's bringing you down, when you begin to shift yourself, and you'll understand and learn how to do that, you're also going to shift those around you in a very seamless, natural way. People around you, your spouses, your children, are going to become naturally more positive, more hopeful, more proactive, and they're not even going to know how or why that happened. And a lot's going to have to do with you. So you will definitely learn how to pull yourself away and observe your life from an outer perspective and examine what needs to change. What role do you need to improve? What behaviors do you need to improve in your interactions in order to genuinely be able to create better relationships? I promise you that you will do that. And you're going to say, oh my God, I didn't know it was possible. And now it is. You're going to have estranged people coming back to, or family members coming back to want to unite with you. because we're going to learn tools that you can utilize both at a subjective and objective level and at a distance, mental programming, subjective programming at a distance that can make a big impact and a positive impact in your life and in the lives of the people you're in relationships with. Okay, here's another one. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Your father explains absurd how drink water. Oh, okay. All right. I think you're talking about explains a technique on how to energize and utilize the glass of water technique. That is a technique that we're going to definitely explain during the Silva Master Mentoring Program because it's part of the Civil Life System course. It's also part of Silva manifesting and also part of Silva mind body healing because water is going to be a very important tool that we utilize to come up with solutions to problems. We're going to use water for healing and energizing yourself, and we're going to utilize water for making changes in mindset and thinking patterns, not only for yourself and for others. So water is a very natural tool that we have, and a tool that we utilize so much in our Silva techniques because it works. You're made up of water. Water is part of your whole being. And it's important that we understand how to utilize water. Water's in your blood. Your blood is comprised of 80% water. So you can, in essence, program and energize water to energize your blood that's flowing throughout your entire body that's going to help you to become more healthy in every way. I mean, we have so many different applications to how to utilize water, and the actual practice and application of the formula type technique itself is so simple because you get a glass of water, you fill it with water, you energize or the water, or you bring it into your head where you say to yourself a simple program that says, this is all I need to do to find the solution to the problem I have in mind. Or you put your hands on the glass of water and you imagine energy flowing from the right hand to the left and energizing the water that you're going to drink and allow the water to go throughout your entire body to heal whatever may be wrong. And after you energize the water, you set it aside to be so that you can drink it in the morning. You drink part at night and part in the morning. But this technique, along with all the other techniques, the formula type techniques that we have in the civil life system, such as the sleep control, awake control, energizing technique, the clock technique, the glass of water technique, dream control. We have self-pain management techniques, the mirror of the mind. All of these techniques that are so magical in the way they make your life better are going to be taught throughout the program in great detail, and you're going to practice them in great detail, including the glass of water. You can find even more information on glass of water on the web, but you're never going to have the right information as you're going to learn it during the online training, the Silva Master Mentoring Program. So I look forward to you signing up so that you can really participate and learn even greater applications in the courseware that I can't possibly give you in this short period of time. So yes, here. Well, someone said, I just purchased the program and I'm so excited. Yay, thank you so much. I promise I will do good for you, okay? I will deliver what you need from me in order for you to achieve your goals and your outcomes. And here we have thank you for carving out time in my busy schedule for you. I always do. I love to carve out time in my busy schedule for you. In fact, you're one of the reasons that I wake up in the morning with excitement and joy. I love doing these webinars and Zoom calls. We had a webinar shortly, what was it, earlier part of, or the latter part of last week, and we had so much fun during the webinar. And that webinar had to do with the success formula or the formula for success utilizing the Silva method. And I hope you took notes and I hope that you learned a lot from it. But yeah, I love being with you guys, always. You make my day. And then Donna says, it would be helpful to have a booklet to pinpoint which technique to use, when, for what, and how often as a reminder. We do have a lot of written information. And in that written information, you do have examples of how to apply the techniques for many various different um, situations. So I do think that we covered that in the materials that we're going to be sharing with you. And if for whatever reason we don't, we will do our best to outline them in writing and offer them to you as a PDF file throughout the program. But we'll know exactly what you need as you're taking the program. And as you take the program, should something like this come up, we do our very best to put content together and give it to you. And sometimes we upload it right then and there as we're talking in our Zoom calls or during the day when we're texting to each other and asking questions and I'm answering your questions. I often just upload information that you're asking for during the week. So we're always looking for ways to make sure that you have what you need in order to make it that much more easy for you to achieve your outcomes for the program. Okay. So thank you for that suggestion. And I think we have that, and I'm looking forward to fulfilling those needs if we don't. Okay. So Elise says, hi, Laura. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. And then that's a great idea. We make sure to provide the booklet at all mastery program graduates. Okay. And then I've wanted to do this since I heard about it at the age of 16. I'd love to do the course with you. Love your energy and your voice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Sometimes I just went for a run before coming here. So when I have long runs, I'm a little dehydrated first, I'm sweating. Because here in Laredo, where I live, it's still very hot. It's very humid. It was very humid this morning. And so, of course, the body reacts to that. Sometimes my voice gets a little bit raspy, but today is not so bad. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. And then make sure to provide the booklet. Yes, I will. Okay. And then Dolly. Oh, Dolly. Hi, Dolly. Very thankful that Laura continues to offer her gifts of life transformation. The Silva Method works. I need to get back to practice. So I'm thinking of joining your program again. Dolly, you have to join. I've known Dolly, and I haven't seen Dolly in such a long time, probably around 20 years now. My gosh. And you live still in Houston. I live in Laredo. We work together in some of the programs. She helped us to conduct one of our conventions in the Houston area. Dolly's one of those very go-getters. And I would love for you to join the program because I know that you'll have so much to share with the group as well. That's another thing is that during the program, we usually have some of the participants who are either lifelong practitioners who have so much to offer. Sometimes we have Patty Lee Thomas who comes in, or Eileen as well. And they have a wealth of knowledge and they have a lot of experience in the very many ways that they've applied the Silva tools and techniques. Hopefully Olavo will be here to join in because he's also an instructor and he does some trainings on the side for Silva as well. And he's got some really magical ways of explaining some of his experiences. It's always wonderful to have this kind of input. In the past, we've had instructors join in from Norway and from even from Bangladesh and people from throughout Europe. And you're going to meet people who are repeating this program from all over the world, which is really exciting. And granted, some of them will wake up there midnight because they're living in India to join in for the Zoom calls. And we love, that kind of energy and that kind of dedication because it means a lot to us. So you'll get to meet people from all over the world. And Dolly, I'm so looking forward to you being part of this program. I think we're going to have a really good time together. And then Shanti said, hi, Laura. I saw my condo last year using your video on YouTube. It was magical. Yay, that's so cool. I love to hear stories like that. And hopefully you'll be part of the program and you can share exactly what you did to sell your condo utilizing the tools and techniques that you learned during the program. So it is magical. And we're going to have all kinds of success stories like this during the program as well, because we're going to experience, I should say, each other achieving our goals and then establishing new goals along the way. So I do want to remind you fully that it's going to be really important for you to have a general direction as to where you want to be by the time the course ends. The kind of goals you will have wanted to manifest, the state of health that you want to achieve, the kind of abundance that you want to introduce into your life and live an experience. Start thinking about the kind of beliefs you hold to be true about life, love, health, money, about relationships, all these kinds of things. Because if you really, really, truly want something, you truly desire something, and you don't have it, you can pretty much bet that there is a limiting belief or an old useless thought that is running that program, and it's keeping that lack in your life. So we want to get rid of all the things that are that are stopping you from achieving the dreams that you want to achieve, because you deserve to have it all. You deserve to have every single thing that you've ever dreamed of, and you deserve to have it all. Trust me on that one, okay? So any more questions to have here? Me too. I'm in. Yay, Kathy. I'm so happy that you're in. So happy that you're excited about joining this program, because we have a lot to share. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to accomplish, and we will accomplish that and better than that. Okay. So let me see. Any kinds of other, I think another question is, how does this program complement the Silva life system that we have? The course itself, and again, I think maybe I already answered that, but it's going to complement it exactly according to what you know is the Silva Method and the Silva Life System. Just remember that the Silva Method is a course that included the original Silva Method was done in 4 days. And it originally was 48 hours. And my father, like I said, he would do 4-hour segments at a time. Sometimes it would take him a month to go back to the same location to continue with the training. So people had a lot of time to practice what they were learning. Other times, as he got busier, it was taking maybe less time or someplace more time before he made the rounds again. He used to drive from place to place to place to place in Texas. And then when the Silva Method started to spread like wildfire throughout the world, then he realized he had to change something. And that's when he compacted the information into a 4-day program that lasted 48 hours. A lot of content is in those 48 hours. And so as time passed, we divided that content into what is the first weekend called the Silva Life System, and the second weekend called the Silva Intuition Training. That is the Silva Method. The Silva Method was arranged in 4 parts. The first part was called control relaxation, and still is in many places throughout Europe, maybe where you go take the live trainings. It's called control relaxation, because in that first 12 hours, or now it's usually 8 hours, in those first hours that are called control relaxation, that's when you learn the pillars of life, basically, which is thinking positively, managing stress, going beyond your limiting beliefs, and using more brain and mind. And those 4 pillars are vital to the rest of the Silva Method, because learning to manage your stress effectively is something you're going to learn the rest of your life. And you must, in order to be able to meditate. You can't be meditating and also stressed out at the same time. So you're going to learn how to eliminate stress and be able to manage it anytime it seems to pop into your life. You'll be able to control it, manage it, and eliminate it. So that's one of the very first pillars that we learn in the Silva Method. The second is about positive thinking, because that's the lowest hanging fruit. The lowest hanging fruit has to do with your thinking, your beliefs, and your behaviors. You are in full control of how you think, believe, and behave. Maybe you don't understand how to create positive thoughts and be thinking positively all the time. Perhaps you don't know how to create positive beliefs, statements, and structures and own them to be true for you, but we'll show you how. So the first pillar is managing stress effectively. The second is about your positive thinking. The third has to do with your beliefs. And the fourth has to do with your behaviors, which in this particular approach, it has to do with slowing down your brain frequency and having more use of your brain and mind in order to be able to internalize your process and do the thinking in the right inner state and in the right frequency of brain to have great things happen in your life. And the great things are the very things that we all want: improve health, better relationships, have more abundance, have more peace and love and joy, and all these things that are universal needs. That's what we want to satisfy first and foremost. But once we get through the four pillars of success, then we move into formula type techniques. And the formula type techniques are exactly that. It's a technique that is broken down into a step-by-step formula that when you follow the formula as it's going to be impressed in your inner state during the meditations, you're going to have success with that formula. So you need to understand the formula and understand why the formula is established or written out or structured as it is. And when you understand why it's structured as it is, then you say, oh, I get it. I understand why we do it this way, and I can see why it's going to work. And you start to learn, not only learn the formulas, but learn how to have success with them. Every single formula type technique is meant for you to have success. So if it's going to be sleep control, if it's going to be then the clock technique, which is showing you mind-body management, whether it's going to be then the dream control or the centering exercise that you're going to learn from the very beginning, all the formula type techniques have their obvious intention, but embedded into every single technique are the deeper lessons where the real programming takes place of how to utilize more of your brain and mind, how to manage the inner voice, how to make that voice work for you and not against you, how to structure belief statements in order for them to open doors of opportunity, how to program, how long to do your meditations, when to do the meditations, different types of deeply stated programs that will strengthen your mind. Because after all, that's what we're talking about. Self-mind control, you managing more of your mind. Because the more you're able to manage your mind, the more in control of your life and living experience you are. So all of this information is just in the very first segment of the course called Control Relaxation. Once we go to controlled relaxation, we move into general self-improvement. And that second set of 8 hours or 12 hours, depending where you are in the world, learning the information in live seminars, because some people will do it in 8 hours and some instructors will do it in 12 hours. But the second part of the course called Control Relaxation has to do with learning tools and techniques and formula techniques to be able to improve different areas of your life. So you have techniques like the mirror of the mind. You have techniques about how to solve problems using the glass of water, or how to use your mind in order to improve your health. You learn how to utilize different tools and techniques to better any single area and aspect of your life and living experience. So in general, you're going to improve your life. So now you've got the control relaxation and the techniques that are going to help you to start having mind-body management. And then you're going to utilize that information together with techniques to improve all aspects of your life. And that's why it's called general self-improvement. The third part of the course is when we move into the Silva Life system. And the third part of the course has to do with ESP. Now, granted, ESP is called extrasensory perception. Most people understand ESP as extrasensory perception, but in the Silva method, my father always believed it's not an extra sense. It's an effective sense. It's an effective use of your mental senses that are quite similar to your physical senses, but they have no barriers of time or space. You can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell with your physical senses, but you can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell with your mind senses. But you can do that you can project those senses into the past, be here in the present, or into the future to create the life of your design. When you project your mental senses into the past effectively, then you can resolve old issues and traumas, old pains, emotional problems. You can resolve a lot of those things because you can move into the past with your mind and your intelligence, utilize those senses to make changes in those past experiences, understand them better, talk to your inner child, and bring that information to your present to have a much more richer, more happier current reality. But you can also project those senses into your future to create the life of your design that you're going to reel into your living experience. And so in that way, we call it effective sensory projection. And then when we learn how to effectively project our senses to different dimensions and through time, whether it be the microcosm into the subatomic particles or the macrocosm into the outer space dimensions, or it's into the past, present, or future, your intelligence and your mind can go anywhere it wants to with no barriers whatsoever. And you can do it so effectively and be able to gain so much information that you can apply to solving any problem that you may have in your life. So when you absolutely apply your methodology in the most effective and correct ways that we're going to share with you, you will be able to solve any problem that you may have. You have no excuses as to why you should have any problems anymore. And as things appear in your life, you'll be able to resolve them with the tools and techniques that you're going to learn in the Silva Life System and in the Silva Intuition training part. Once you learn how to effectively project your senses, effective mental projection, effective sensory projection, ESP, then we're going to apply all that information on real life problems and situations. And you're going to be amazed. It'll be a whole paradigm shift where you recognize who you truly are as a spirit being having a human experience. And that whole awareness and acknowledgement of that is life-changing. But with all that information, then we move in to manifesting more of what you want in your life. I call it the fine-tune information to manifesting. And along the way, we'll cover everything that you may need or may come to mind for you, because you will succeed. Let me see. Another comment here. Sorry, I got here late. What will be the main difference between Silva Life System and Mastery System? So I'm not sure what you mean by the Mastery System. Silva Life System is only one part of the Silva methodology. If you're talking about the Silva Master Mentoring Program that I'm teaching here, then the Silva Master Mentoring Program includes Silva Life System, Silva Intuition, Silva Mind Body. It includes Silva Manifestation, and anything else that you may want to ask about that you've heard of the Silva Method, or any kind of approach or application that may come. It is a totally open forum of all knowledge that I may have in any of those parts of the entirety of what constitutes the Silva technology or the Silva teachings, because I know them all. I've done them all. And I've also done so many other programs that I also bring into this particular Silva Master Mentoring program, because I have all this information I can share with you, and how you can incorporate the Silva tools and techniques together with other methodologies if you need to come up with outcomes that maybe far surpass anything you've done before. So there is a quite remarkable kind of an approach here, because you get it all in the Silva Master Mentoring Program. Okay, I don't want to keep it too much longer. So if you have any more questions, by all means, please ask me now, because we'll probably be signing off in the next few minutes. And I'm excited that some of you are already joining. I look forward to those of you who are repeating. I look forward to those of you who came, couldn't finish, and are coming back to finish. And I especially look forward to those of you who have never done a course in your life. This is for everybody, because we're going to go through from the very beginning to the very end, and you're going to grow and evolve. We're all going to do this together, the growing and the evolution of our own inner selves, and how we take maybe a different look at what the Silva Method is about, and also take a different perspective about meditation in itself, because we're all masters at meditating. We're all masters at manifesting. We do it every moment of the day. Now we just want to make sure we're manifesting the things that we want to manifest, not the things that we don't want. And we'll see the difference. We'll understand why we manifest both things that we don't want, things that we want. But we're going to learn how to only manifest things that we do want, and to truly create the life of our design. So I'm really excited to welcome you to this journey with me. I'm looking forward to doing this. We'll have our first Zoom call in the beginning of November, and we'll continue with every week after that. And we'll be in constant contact all the time for 3 full months. I hope you don't get tired of me, but I'll be there for you every step of the way. I look forward to it. I'm excited about it, and I hope you are too. So come on in, get in touch with Irina, info@laurasilvaquesada.com. And plus, she's got you already on your emails, and she'll reach out to you anywhere with more information on how to join, how to sign up, and be part of this wonderful, amazing lifestyle that so many of us have learned to enjoy and are living with. Love you guys. See you soon. So hopefully very, very soon. All right.